Today, let's have a conversation. It's actually been exactly a year since I made my way to Canada. It's been fun. It's been an insightful journey, if I can put it that way. I still remember 16th August last year. I actually went to work, and most people didn't even know that I was actually resigning from work. And at 5 o'clock, I handed in my laptop and headed off straight to the airport. The funny thing is, on that day, I had my luggage actually packed in my car, and my office was just close to the airport. So the plan was go to work, resign, hand in laptop, and now head off straight to the airport, and a new life begins. Today I felt after 1 year, it would be nice to have a sit down and share some of the experiences that I've had through this journey. At least, even if it impacts or changes one person, then my work would have been done. Now that I'm actually done with school, at least one of these days, I'll have a sit down and actually share with you my whole Canadian journey. It has actually been very insightful. A lot of things I planned for, but I got here and things did not go as planned. And I'm happy most of those things didn't go as I planned for, because I learned a lot. This whole journey actually builds character. I remember May, when a friend of mine landed here and it was cold and she was complaining about the cold, and I was like, the Canadian weather actually builds character. So brace yourself and go through it. This is something that's different. Most of us left our comfort zone to come here because of our why. And one thing that I always advise people who decide to embark on this journey is to make sure that you know your why, and your why is strong enough. The why is going to be very important, because like we always say, you are going to go through the hockey stick curve. And when we say the hockey stick curve, basically you are going to go down before you shoot back up. And most people are not even aware of this, because they come in and in their mind, they expect that they are supposed to at least move straight from where they are to the same row possibly here. And they come here and they get a shock of their life. People come in and land softly. Others come in and get a hard land. But one thing is for sure, everybody always lands on their feet at one point or the other. But the question is, how long is going to take you to land on your feet will depend on how prepared you are before you get here. So today I felt it was right, at least I share with you some lessons that at least I have picked along the way in this 1 year, or even I would say throughout my time of moving here, that others can even learn from. Because my goal on this channel has always been to at least inform, educate, and make sure we impact people, so that they don't make mistakes, because I have seen a lot of people make those mistakes, and I don't want that to happen to you. My first lesson and advice is to remember that delay is not denial. I remember my coming to Canada video, I used this line, and a lot of people reached out to me and they were like, Evans, why are you saying delay is not denial? This is something that I felt connected with me very much. When I applied for my Canadian study permit, I had a multi-year US visa, I had a multi-year Schengen visa, I have a multi-year UK visa, and I actually had a Canadian visa. So in my mind, getting a study permit was going to be as easy as possible. And it will shock you to know that I actually presented my own personal income, more than 6 figures, and I was hit with refusal after a year of waiting. I always say delay is not denial, because sometimes those delays can make things better for you. Sometimes the refusal makes you a better person. I remember when I got my refusal, that was when I took my spiritual life serious. I was very active in church. My prayer life improved. Even my relationship with a lot of people improved, because I remember that I needed to connect with people more. So if you are out there and you are getting a refusal, what I always tell people is, you only fail when you give up. I actually know somebody who refused on 6 different occasions, and on the 7th time, he actually got approved. And for me personally, it was even the refusal that got me to start a YouTube channel, because it allowed me to learn about this whole journey. And I felt that at least I can impact people with what I've learned so far. And I know at least over the last 1 year, most of the people that I've interacted with, I've actually impacted them one way or the other. I'm always happy when I wake up and I see on WhatsApp, I've gotten approved, I've just got my medical request. Then I know that at least my work actually for setting up this YouTube channel is being achieved. So when you are getting refused, don't give up. Fail, but fail forward. Make sure that at least you go back, relook at your refusal reasons, adjust and reapply. Because for me personally, my refusals actually humbled me, because my why for coming in 2020 was different from the why for coming in 2022. And I'm actually happy I came in 2022, because the me that was coming in 2020 would have succeeded in the things I've been able to achieve in this 1 year that I've been here. My second advice to everybody who is trying to embark on this journey is actually to have a plan. I have met a lot of people who don't have a plan. All they have is a goal to get to Canada. And some of them actually achieve the goal and get here, and they realize that most of the things that they've been watching online or hearing from other people are just a tip of the iceberg. So my advice is make sure you have a plan of how you are going to go about this whole journey. If your aim is to get permanent residency, have a plan of how you are going to get there, because having a plan will help you decide on which school that you apply to, which province that you even choose, which kind of people that you want to at least network with to get the information that you need to get you to your destination. Also, having a plan will also require you to have a plan of how you plan to pay for your tuition fee and even your bills. Because trust me, you are going to encounter those bills. Tuition fee is just less than a third of the expenses you might end up incurring when you land in Canada. But at least when you are coming, have a plan of how you are going to pay your tuition fee. If that headache is taken away from you, you will know that at least a third of your problem is solved. Most people just apply, package the application, get approval, and they don't actually have a plan to pay their tuition fee. And trust me, working to pay your tuition fee is not actually a plan. So if possible, make sure that you have enough money to pay your first year tuition fee so that that headache is taken away from you and you can now have your peace of mind to execute other legs of the journey. Secondly, have a plan of how you plan to at least achieve your immigration goal. Landing in Canada is just one aspect of it. The whole immigration journey is a process. You need to know how you plan to execute every single leg of it. If you are coming in as a student, there is going to be the postgraduate work permit aspect of it. There is going to be the PR aspect of it, before even the citizenship aspect of it. And every leg of it, there will be some financial commitment. My third advice is make sure you have some money before you come in. Don't allow anybody to tell you that you can land here and work to accumulate funds to take care of yourself and pay for your expenses. At least make sure that you have enough proof of funds or enough money in your pocket when you are coming to cover you for between 3 to 6 months, because you are going to need it. Not everybody lands and gets a job the following day. Some of us were lucky, we landed, and the first week we got a job. Funny thing is, me personally, when I came in, my goal was not to work. I remember I said this was more of a sabbatical. I'm not going to work. I landed, and the first week I got a job. But I know people who have still been in the system for the last 6 months and they are still looking for a job. Others have been here for the last 3 months and they are still looking for a job and they are not even getting. So imagine if these people came in with the goal that, oh, I'll come in, work and use it to take care of myself. That means that they wouldn't be able to pay their tuition fees, neither would they be able to pay their bills. So make sure you have some money in your pocket, at least between 3 to 6 months, depending on where you are going to land. And most people will also tell you that the first couple of months is where you incur most of your expenses, because that's when you are trying to settle in. That's also when you don't know the system, so you might end up buying things at premium before you realize that you can get them cheaper at other places. So having enough money when you land is going to be key. We all know that some people package their applications, but even if you package your application, make sure there's money in your pocket. Even if you have to borrow before you jump on that flight to get to Canada, because trust me, it's going to make a difference in this whole journey. My fourth advice is make sure you manage your expense wisely. Living abroad can be very expensive, especially if you don't have a budget. So make sure you create a budget that you can at least live by. I always advise people to try their maximum best to live below their means. Sometimes it might be good to expand your means, which can help you build buffer and allow you to live more freely by having a budget to help you guide your expenses. And there are some expenses that will hit you every now and then that you actually have not planned for. And if you are coming in as a student, don't be shy to scout and look around for discounts, because there are a lot of discounts around that can help you save a lot when it comes to some of these expenses. Me personally, since I came in, I found out that even in Winnipeg, the Winnipeg government can pay for me to access gyms and everything, all those other things for free. Most people didn't even know. So when I found out, I accessed it, and actually my gym membership was paid for a full year. So every day I'm able to go to the gym, go to the sauna, relax and all that. And all those things are paid for. If you are coming to Winnipeg, there might be food harvest here where Harvest Manitoba, where you can go there and every month they give you free groceries for free. A lot of people go there to pick up some. If it's something that you are going to be needing, don't be shy. At least if it saves you $100 a month, it might be good savings in your pocket. And when it comes to managing your expenses, one major expense that every single person ends up incurring on this journey is accommodation. I always say, don't be shy to share accommodation. If you need to share your accommodation to help you cut down on your expenses, you can at least do that to help reduce your expenses until you land on your feet. A lot of people are doing it. Sometimes renting a 2-bedroom apartment might be cheaper than just going for a 1-bedroom apartment. Because guess what? A 2-bedroom might cost you, let's say, $1,004, shared between 2 people, that's $700 a piece. But if you are going for a 1-bedroom, you might have to pay, let's say, $1,000 or $1,001. So that extra $300 savings in your pocket can make a difference in your life. And when it comes to thrifting, don't be shy to do that. Every single person is doing it. So when you land, you can look around for all those thrift stores, go in there and see. Now winter is coming. If you go in there, people will be now sending their old winter jackets there that they don't need because they will be getting new ones. Those old ones can be new for you because for you, you might not be ready to spend, let's say, $200 or $300 on a winter jacket. You might have $40 to spare. And your $40 might be able to get you that good winter jacket to help you go through the winter. Because sometimes the winter can be wintering here. It can get as cold that sometimes you pull your hands out of your gloves, it can get frozen. So don't be shy to go thrifting. Fifth lesson is driving is not a luxury. Driving is not a luxury in Canada or any other Western country. So if you are coming in and you can afford to get a car, trust me, if you can afford it, get it, because it can make a difference in your life. Because unlike where we come from, here you can get a car on credit. Sometimes having that car can open up other opportunities for you. Me personally, I remember when I was busing, sometimes I can take about half an hour to an hour on the bus just to get to work and back. You get home and you are tired. Since I started driving, almost every part of the city is like 20 or 30 minutes away. Now I can drive and do deliveries, not even for Uber or Skip the Dishes, even though I'm registered for all those ones. But actually I can do delivery for medical deliveries, which I can do on my spare time. And also remember that here, driving license is a form of ID. So even if you are not planning on driving, try your maximum best to get one. Sometimes if you bring your old driving license from your country, it allows you to drive here for a couple of months. And later when you take the driving test, you can just exchange it and get a new one. So to make your life easy, if you're actually planning on coming to Canada and you are currently not driving in your home country, I would advise that try your maximum best to try and acquire your home driving license before you jump on that flight to come to Canada, because it can shorten the time that you will go through to get your driving license in Canada compared to somebody who came in without a driving license. My sixth advice and lesson that at least I want to give all everyone is seek support and help if you need it. Because since being here the last 1 year, I have met and seen people who are trying to do things on their own, one way or the other, and not knowing that the next person sitting across them has actually gone through the same journey that they are going through. And by just reaching out to that person, it makes their life easier because the person can open up and answer those questions that they have boggling them the whole week. So sometimes if you are going through issues, make sure you open up and at least trust somebody and ask for help, because it can get very lonely here. Everybody is busy. Everybody is going about their own life. People are working. When you are off work, somebody else that you might need to talk to might actually be at work. And for most people who are coming here as students, you realize that when you land, most schools will have at least channels available for all those questions that you'll be going through that you need answers. They'll have people readily available to answer those questions. And if you are coming here as a temporary resident or a permanent resident, one way or the other, sometimes there are settlement agencies that are being paid by the government to help you go through this process. If you land and you need help, reach out to one of them, sign up. They will help you and guide you through the settlement process. And no matter what plan that you have before you come in, trust me, things are not going to go as planned, because there are a lot of things that you are not factoring in your plans whilst you are still in your home country. Number 7 is patience is key. Whether you are now starting the journey, in the process of the journey, or you're already in Canada, trust me, patience is going to be key, because you are going to need a lot of it. Whilst you are waiting for the application to be approved, even when you are waiting to fly to Canada, or even after you've landed here, you are going to need a lot of patience. And me personally, I didn't know I had a lot of it until I got to Canada. And I remember when I started taking my driver's license, my favorite driver who was teaching me was like, Evans, why is that anytime you are going around, you have a leg on the brake? Trust me, those cars are not going to run into you because everybody's supposed to obey the rules. It was at that point that I realized I needed to be patient even on the road. The one time that I wasn't patient on the road, guess what? I ended up getting a speeding ticket. So you are going to need a lot of patience in this journey. Number 8, and this one is actually my favorite one so far. Trust me. You need to embrace the Canada winter. Most people who have been in Canada will tell you that Canada has 2 seasons. That's the hot weather season and the cold weather season. It's about 8 months of cold, especially when you are coming to any of these provinces which are down here. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, those ones that are down here. But when you are coming in, make sure you embrace the winter. That winter builds character. You are going to go through different kinds of emotions during those periods, but you will actually enjoy the experience. Make sure you've planned accordingly when it comes to the necessary clothing. Make sure you've had enough preparation to keep yourself warm. If you are not going to drive, make sure you have your layers ready for the winter. And as I'm talking now, it started raining. So guess what? The next couple of months is going to get cold. So if you are watching this video and you are coming in September or December, have plans for your winter clothes. Get ready for the cold. When I was coming in, I was very arrogant. I was like, I've seen all kinds of winters in different countries. What's the worst this cold can do to me? But there were times where I was standing in bus stops and I was actually shedding tears. Not tears because I was feeling pain or anything, but tears because you are cold and chilly, even though you are wearing those jackets, just because you are not properly dressed. And without the right winter boots, you are going to fall one way or the other because it can get slippery. So make sure you have made enough preparations for the winter. And the winter also does not mean that you need to bury yourself indoors. Go out there, have fun, enjoy the winter activities. You can go skating, do something else. We are coming from the hot weather where most of us haven't done some of these things before. I remember last winter, myself, we decided to go skating. We played hockey, we went to watch ice hockey and all that. Enjoy the winter. Because if your aim is to stay in this country and live here, then you are going to see more of those winter. So why not embrace it as early as possible, enjoy it and have fun. My 9th lesson and advice to anybody who is coming in through the student routes is make sure you embrace the Canadian education system. One thing that I regret the most over the last 1 year is actually not embracing the Canadian education system. Luckily for me, when I came in, I got job early, and God being so good, the Canadian government opened up for international students to be able to work on limited hours. Even though I had planned not to work, I decided to now enter the job market and work because my school work allowed me to work. And as a result of that, even though the course I was taking was something that I've actually done before, so I didn't have to sit in class most of the time. My classes were mostly online. I felt that it would have been nice if I had stayed in and participated mostly in class. I would have enjoyed most of the things that were going on instead of shifting my focus to mainly working. So my advice is, if you actually pay the tuition fee and you are coming in, as much as you love to work, try your maximum best to embrace the Canadian education system. Because I realized that the Canadian education system is different from what I've known all my life. It encourages teamwork, it encourages group work, it encourages project work. It encourages you to be practical in whatever you are learning, because they try to bring the theory into practical. So the more you involve yourself in the schoolwork, you realize that the more the schoolwork becomes easier for you, because you don't have to do chew, pour, pass, forget. You actually know and understand and write things from your point of view. So if you are coming in and you've paid a tuition fee, you've paid tens of thousands of dollars to learn, as much as you love to work, make sure you embrace the education system and put some effort into at least participating and learning and getting the most out of the money that you've paid to learn. The next advice that I'll give is make sure you ask questions and do research. I get a lot of people reaching out to me with questions that you realize that they could have gotten answers to if they had just even Googled it. And you realize that a lot of people are making mistakes just because they are not asking questions and they are not researching. Sometimes, and if it's something that you can't get answers online, feel free to reach out to somebody else that you think has more experience in that field. Even if you have to pay something small to get a person's time, do that so that at least you can get answers to your question. Try your maximum best to research because things are changing on a daily basis. Somebody might tell you something today, tomorrow it would have changed. But if you know how to fetch that particular information yourself, you can always refresh your knowledge and wouldn't have to now rely on that particular person. Most times I tell people that when I give advice, I see it more like a signpost for you to go and read more, for you to go and at least get more knowledge in that field, because that's what I'm doing personally. So I can tell you something today and you might ask me tomorrow. If that thing has changed, my knowledge will have been refreshed, but yours wouldn't have been. So if you get a knowledge, go in there, do the research yourself and try to stay yourself informed, because things are changing on a daily basis. You will get people reaching out to ask you simple questions like, as an international student, can I work on a limited number of hours? And it's something that is easily available online. Everybody knows it. If you don't know this one, then you're going to miss out on a lot of other things. Because now, a lot of people are paying about $5,000 for people to do the visa application for them. Now, when you get here, are you going to pay $5,000 for somebody to help you with PGWP? Are you going to pay another $6,000 for somebody to help you with PR application? Then another $6,000 for somebody to help you with citizenship application. So the earlier you can get yourself informed, the better it's going to be if you are trying to embark on this particular journey. And last but not the least, and I have seen a lot of people make this mistake over the last 1 year, don't be afraid of credit card if you are coming here. As much as we are coming from a debit system, you can still get a credit card which will help you build credit and allow you to get things more easily as you are here. Even if you have the money to spend, try and get one of those credit cards. Research and get the one that suits you the most. And you can still have the credit card and use it like a debit card. You use it, then you pay it off if you don't want to incur any extra charges. But try your maximum best to not be afraid of credit card, because it might be the one thing that can help you make your life very easy. A typical example, I was explaining to a friend of mine about this whole credit card thing. I was like, you spend the money today, you get the statement in 30 days time, and they give you 21 days to now pay off the statement before you start incurring extra charges. So it's like somebody giving you money today to spend, and you have almost 2 months to pay it off. So before I leave you, don't be afraid of credit card. Do your research and learn how to use one wisely. These are a few points that I have learned personally over the last 1 year that I think I should share with you. As much as it was more of a rant, I hope at least one way or the other you will have gotten a point out of it that would help make your life easier if you are embarking on this particular journey. And don't forget to share this video with family and friends who you think will get value out of it. And if you have any questions, feel free to link it in the comment section, because I make sure I respond to most of the questions within the first 24 hours. Until the next video, cheers.